Matt Armstrong's car collection is nothing short of incredible. From wrecked supercars to fully restored masterpieces, each car tells a story of determination and passion. Let's dive into his most amazing builds. At first glance, a Range Rover might seem completely out of place in a collection filled with high-performance supercars. I mean, it's not exactly the fastest, most sleek vehicle in the lot, right? But for Matt, his 2015 Range Rover Vogue is anything but ordinary. It's a workhorse in disguise. Now, you might be wondering, why does Matt need a luxury SUV when he's surrounded by Lamborghinis and Aston Martins? Well, the answer is simple. He bought this Range Rover after it had been in a crash, and instead of fixing it up and calling it a day, Matt went all in, because why not? As part of his YouTube series, he took his luxury SUV and turned it into a beast. And no, he didn't just slap a new bumper on it and move on. Matt went all out, giving the 2015 Range Rover a full SVO-style facelift body kit. The result, a transformation that turned a once average-looking SUV into a machine with a fresh, aggressive look. You know, just in case you forgot it was part of a collection with some seriously high-performance cars. But here's the real kicker. Matt didn't just get the Range Rover for the luxury or the style. No, he got it to tow his own Toyota GT86 to drift events. Because why settle for an ordinary tow vehicle when you can have a commanding presence on the road? This Range Rover isn't just about practicality. It's the perfect mix of premium comfort and eye-catching style. Who knew a luxury SUV could be this cool? Matt sure knows how to make the unexpected work in his collection. The Toyota GT86 is already known for its lightweight design and rear-wheel drive fun, but Matt's GT86, it's not your average run-of-the-mill sports car, far from it. In fact, this one's on a whole different level. Matt picked up this 2012 GT86 for about 4,000 pounds, $4,700 US at a Copart auction, which, let's be real, sounds like an absolute steal for a car with this much potential. But don't be fooled, this wasn't a diamond in the rough. It was a damaged auction car waiting for a transformation. And transform it Matt did. First off, he slapped on a Rocket Bunny wide-body kit, completely changing the car's stance. The wider fenders give it that aggressive wide-track look that screams, "I'm ready to race" at every corner. But wait, there's more. The car now sits on Japan racing alloys, which not only look insane, but also bring some serious performance to the table. But we're not stopping there. Matt knows that sound is just as important as speed, so he added a custom exhaust for about 350 pounds, $415 US, which in the world of car mods is practically a bargain. But don't let the price fool you. This budget-friendly mod gives the GT86 an aggressive growl that turns heads as it tears down the road. From a damaged auction car to a drift-ready beast, Matt's GT86 is the perfect example that you don't need to break the bank to turn an affordable sports car into something extraordinary. It's all about the vision, and Matt clearly has plenty of that. Some cars are built to turn heads, and Matt's 2012 Audi RS5 is definitely one of them. But this wasn't just another personal project, it was built for someone special. This high-performance coupe was meant to be a gift for his girlfriend, making one of the more unique builds in his collection. Of course, being a Matt Armstrong car, the RS5 didn't come in pristine condition. It had suffered front-end collision damage, which might have scared off most buyers. But for Matt, that just made it an exciting challenge. He wasted no time in bringing it back to life, turning it into something truly special. One of the biggest transformations, a stunning Inozetec khaki green wrap, which completely changed the car's presence. This deep satin finish green gives the RS5 an ultra-premium custom look that makes it stand out from the usual factory colors. The 20-inch Japan Racing alloy wheels take the styling even further, giving it an aggressive stance that matches its performance. With additional bodywork and suspension tweaks, Matt has taken this RS5 far beyond just a simple rebuild. It's now a fully customized head-turning machine, blending luxury performance and personal flair. This mix of bold styling, aggressive stance, and that roaring V8 makes it one of the more exciting cars in his collection. But here's the question. Would you modify an RS5 like this, or would you keep it stock? Let us know what you think. Have you ever looked at a car and thought, this could be amazing with a little love? Well, that's exactly what Matt saw when he laid his eyes on the 1989 BMW E24 635 CSI. Sure, it's not a Lambo or Ferrari, but that's exactly why it's so special. Most of Matt's collection consists of high-performance sports cars, but this E24 is a true classic, one that's been neglected and left to sit as a non-runner for far too long. This wasn't your typical crash damage project. No. This was a car that needed a little more than just repairs. It needed someone to recognize its true potential. The BMW E24 is already one of BMW's most iconic silhouettes, known for its smooth lines and classic charm. So when Matt got his hands on it, he saw beyond the rust and tear. This was a car waiting to be brought back to life. Now, let's be clear. This car's not winning any drag races against his Lambos or Porsches. It doesn't have the raw horsepower or sleek tech that you'd expect from a modern supercar, but that's not the point. This E24 is a piece of automotive history, and with the right amount of time, effort, and patience, Matt's working his magic to restore it to its original glory. A reminder that Matt's love for cars isn't just about chasing horsepower, it's about appreciating the legacy of the machines that paved the way for the modern supercars he loves today. Who says you need a 1,000 horsepower engine to have fun, right? The Mercedes C63 AMG is known for its thunderous V8 and brutal acceleration, but Matt's 2010 model had a bit of a rough past. Of course, when Matt gets his hand on a rough past, he doesn't just fix it. Oh no, that would be far too easy. Instead, he went all out. He bought this non-runner with visions of transforming it into something even more glorious than before. So naturally, he slapped on a full AMG Black Series body kit, because a regular C63 just wasn't quite cutting it. Sure, it was already a beast of a car, but why settle for something when you can turn a tired old ride into an absolute showstopper? And here's the kicker, the cost of parts. Building an AMG isn't exactly what you'd call budget-friendly. Getting your hands on premium German components, that's like hitting the lottery if the lottery was absurdly expensive. But Matt was not intimidated. He was determined. The kind of determination that most people reserve for buying the most ridiculous coffee or hunting down that perfect avocado toast. But the results, well, they speak for themselves. With that AMG Black Series body kit, it's got an aggressive stance that practically dares anyone to challenge it on the road. And that hand-built 6.2-liter V8, don't even get me started. It roars like an animal that's been awoken from a very long nap, reminding everyone that this true German muscle car is designed to make a statement. So, now this C63 AMG is not just a rebuild, it's a work of art on wheels. And the best part, it's back where it belongs, tearing up the road with that unmistakable roar. Matt's 2002 BMW E46 M3 has one of the more fascinating stories in his collection. It wasn't exactly love at first sight for most people when Matt stumbled across this car. In fact, it looked like the kind of vehicle you'd cross the street to avoid. Left abandoned near a racetrack and in total disrepair by a track day experience company, this M3 wasn't exactly screaming "buy me," but for Matt, that's just an invitation. If you're thinking most people would walk away, you'd be right, unless you're Matt, who saw nothing but potential where others saw a lost cause. After snapping it up, Matt didn't just patch it up. Oh no, he fully restored this iconic M3 to its original glory and then went that extra mile or 10 with performance upgrades, fitting it with a Scorpion catback exhaust, giving it a growl that cannot be ignored, and took the whole braking system up a notch by installing front brakes from a Mercedes C63 AMG. Because why not? If you're going to fix an M3, you might as well give an upgrade that'll make even the biggest supercar fans pause. And just when you think this build couldn't get any better, Matt takes it to Richard Hammond's workshop. Yes, the Richard Hammond from Top Gear. Not only did this car get some expert TLC, but Matt also earned a literal seal of approval from the legend himself. At this point, it was clear. This wasn't just a car rebuild, it was a comeback story. It's a reminder that sometimes the greatest finds are the ones that people overlook. Do you think you could see past the damage and turn something like this around? Or would you leave it for someone else to restore to glory? Let us know what you think down there in the comments. Porsches are known for their precision engineering, but Matt's 27 718 Cayman S was anything but perfect when he bought it. In fact, this car had a past most would consider a nightmare. After a rollover accident, it became the cheapest 718 Cayman S in the UK. And let's be honest, who would buy a car like that? Most people would take one look and think, not today, thank you, but not Matt. Instead, he saw an opportunity to transform this battered Porsche into something truly special. Matt has this rare ability to look at a wrecked car and think, this would be incredible. And let's face it, how many of us would actually have the guts to do that? Instead of fixing it up and calling it a day, Matt went all out. He didn't just settle for making it good enough. Oh no, he turned it into a stunning GT4 lookalike, a car that, when it pulls up, demands attention. We're talking about full-on transformation, complete with a vibrant orange paint job that makes the car look like it could be in the next Fast and the Furious movie. Seriously, this thing's a showstopper. The custom wheels, a perfect touch to add a bit of flair. And the flush fitment, well, it's exactly what every Porsche enthusiast dreams of. And you know what's even cooler? This isn't about the car just looking good. It's about breathing new life into something that was written off. Matt doesn't just take a car and put it back together. He takes what's left and turns it into something better than before. The fact that he can do this on the regular, it's what makes his collection so mind-blowing. At the end of the day, Matt isn't just buying cars. He's reimagining them, giving them second life, and proving that with a little vision and a lot of guts, you can turn a disaster into something truly legendary. The Maserati Gran Turismo is one of the best-sounding cars ever made thanks to its Ferrari-built V8. But let's face it, Matt didn't just stop there. He looked at this car, already a head-turner with its sweet engine note, and thought, why not make it absolutely impossible to ignore? So he went all in on making this '07 Turismo a true street beast. First, he fitted it with a Liberty Walk body kit, and we all know what that means. It's got more attitude than a reality TV star. The ultra-aggressive stance and wide-body look transforms this car from a high-class coupe to a full-on street machine demanding respect. But why stop there? Matt's got an eye for detail, so he added the AirX air suspension, giving the Gran Turismo a dynamic ability to drop its ride height and give it that extra level of presence, all while ensuring it stays as smooth as possible. And just when you thought Matt couldn't push it any further, he teamed up with Projects Design to create custom wheels with an insane 81mm offset. These wheels give the Turismo a stance that is as aggressive as its roar. The result is a car that looks like it could swallow up the road, and we are here for it. Oh, and the exhaust? Matt didn't just make it louder, he made it a monster. Going full straight piped, he turned the Maserati into something that doesn't just sound fast, it sounds like it's about to leave a trail of destruction behind it. In Matt's world, normal does not exist. He takes a Maserati and makes it unforgettable. Matt's 2019 Aston Martin Vantage might be one of the toughest rebuilds yet. And by toughest, we mean not just fixing a car with a front-end collision, but actually turning it into something that doesn't just turn heads, it makes people question whether their idea of a supercar is outdated. Matt didn't just grab up this damaged Vantage for the fun of it. He picked it up for 54,000 quids, that's 64,000 US dollars, making it the cheapest 2019 Vantage in the UK at the time. While most people would have taken a hard pass on that kind of project, Matt saw it as the perfect canvas. Finding parts for this thing, well, that was a whole adventure in itself, but Matt wasn't about to let a little thing like sourcing rare components slow him down. Instead, he decided to take it a step further and make this rebuild truly his own. He added carbon fiber bonnet vents taken from none other than an ex-Aston Martin GT3 car. You know, just casual stuff to take a solid British supercar and kick its appeal up to 11. And let's talk about that twin-turbo V8. Not only does it sound like the kind of engine that could wake the dead, but the Vantage's performance isn't too shabby either. From front-end wreckage to absolute masterpiece, this Aston Martin now looks as good as it sounds. Matt doesn't just rebuild cars, he takes them from meh to wow. He's got an eye for making the impossible look effortless, and this Vantage, it's living proof. Matt's 2012 Lamborghini Gallardo LP564 is not your average Gallardo. Because of course, Matt doesn't do average. The moment he laid eyes on this iconic Lamborghini, he knew it needed something extra. So what did he do? Oh, just fitted it with a push performance twin turbo kit, casual upgrade that boosted the power from 552 to a monstrous 850 horsepower. That's not just a jump, that's like going from, hey, can I keep up, to you better step aside. But let's not stop at the numbers. We all know Matt's cars aren't just about what's under the hood. They gotta look as insane as they perform. So he wrapped this beauty with a satin Arctic camo. Because why settle for a dull paint job when you could have a camo wrap that turns heads from every angle? Throw in a gloss orange stripe down the middle and you got a car that practically screams, look at me. Oh, and if you thought he was done, think again. This Gallardo's also sitting pretty on air suspension and has a roof box for those very important European road trips. Nothing says I'm living the dream like a twin-turbo Lambo with luggage. Am I right? And of course, Matt doesn't just take this beast to the grocery store. No. Driving it to Monaco is the kind of thing that only Matt Armstrong would consider as a casual weekend drive. This Lambo is more than just a car. It's an expression of what happens when performance and style come together at full speed. Peak Matt Armstrong indeed. This 2002 Lamborghini Murcielago sat unrunning for over 7 years, but that didn't stop Matt, and why would it? If you're Matt Armstrong, a car in that state is nothing but an opportunity. Who wouldn't jump at the chance to bring a 6.2-liter V12 monster back to life, especially when it's been sitting lifeless, engineless, and gearboxless for over 7 years? If that doesn't scream challenge accepted, what does? Now, let's talk about the Murcielago itself. This isn't just any supercar. It's an iconic Lambo with those jaw-dropping scissor doors, a soundtrack to die for with that roaring V12, and a history that any car enthusiast would drool over. Matt didn't just buy another supercar, he bought legendary machinery waiting to be resurrected. And here's the kicker. This car wasn't just used, it was a shell, a car stripped bare with nothing but potential. Matt, of course, saw it as the ultimate challenge. No engine, no gearbox, years of neglect. Most people would run away at the sight of it. But Matt, he's already rolling up his sleeves, ready to work his magic. The result? Once this beast is back on the road, it's going to be one of the most rarest, most valuable Lamborghinis around. A total showstopper. Imagine driving a Murcielago that's this unique. It's going to have all the power, the glory, and a story behind it that's pure Armstrong greatness. When it's done, this Lamborghini won't just be a car. It'll be a monument, a testament to Matt's sheer determination and passion for building cars nothing short of epic. Before all the supercars, there was this, a 1993 Ford Fiesta Mk3. I know what you're thinking. A Ford Fiesta? Not exactly the kind of car you'd expect to kick off a collection filled with Lamborghinis and Aston Martins, right? But that's exactly what makes Matt's story so awesome. It wasn't the flashy cars that got him hooked on cars. It was this humble hatchback. A 1993 Ford Fiesta of all things. This unassuming little car was the catalyst for what would become a passion that's now a collection of automotive dreams. Here's the kicker. Matt didn't just grow up in a world of Ferraris and Ferris wheels. No, he grew up learning from his mechanic father, getting his hands dirty, working on cars that were anything but glamorous. And this Fiesta, well, it wasn't just a car, it was the first chapter in a journey that would eventually lead to supercar greatness. But it's not about how fast or luxurious a car is. Matt's collection stands out because it's rooted in love. Not just for the high-end machines, but for the art of building and restoring cars. A nod to the fact that every project, no matter how big or small, holds a special place in his heart. This Fiesta, while nowhere near as flashy as the cars that came later, represents the foundation of Matt's journey, the car that got him hooked and started it all. So yeah, this Fiesta might not be the most exotic, but it's a symbol of how far Matt's come. From humble beginnings to a supercar collection we can only dream of. Makes you appreciate the journey, doesn't it? Matt Armstrong's collection isn't just about high-end cars. It's about the stories behind them. Each rebuild represents a challenge, a transformation, and a passion for the craft. What's next for Matt? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, it won't be boring.